this lesson, you're going to learn how to do an observational drawing from a reference. The reference we'll be using for the lesson is a portrait drawing by Pablo Picasso, one of the 20th century's most prolific and influential artists. It's a portrait of Igor Stravinsky, one of the most famous classical music composers from that century. Copying masterworks is a great way to learn how to draw and paint. It's what all famous artists have done in the past. In fact, Picasso did over 40 copies just of Diego Velázquez's famous painting, Las Meninas. For this study, instead of copying the image as we see it, we're going to flip it upside down. Flipping the image upside down forces you to see it as an artist sees it, as shapes, angles, and lines all relating to each other, rather than as a picture of someone. Start by drawing a rectangle with the same proportion as the reference. Picasso's drawing is 3 units wide and 4 units tall. A good scale for your drawing might be 6 inches by 8 inches. Get a ruler and measure it out so that it's accurate. Go ahead and pause the video now, get your paper, ruler, and pencil, and measure out your rectangle. The first stage of any drawing is called the lay-in. In this stage, you're thinking about very simple big shapes and their placement on the page. It is essential that you get as accurate a lay-in as possible before adding any details. If your lay-in is not accurate, it doesn't matter how many details you add, your drawing will still look bad because the underlying structure is not there. To begin, I'm going to mentally simplify the drawing into large shapes. I see 2 large negative spaces at the bottom of the page. Negative space is the space or the shapes between a subject and the background. I see the head is a large shape as well as the torso and arms. Finally, I see the legs and the base of the chair. Drawing these large, simple shapes is much easier than looking at all of the details and trying to place them accurately. A vertical center line and a horizontal center line will help me place all of the larger shapes that I've visualized. When doing the lay-in, you should be drawing very lightly so that you can correct any mistakes and later refine your simple straight lines by adding all of the bumps and curves that you see. Take your time and carefully observe each line and shape. Look at them in relation to the things around them so that you can make sure that they are placed correctly in the drawing. Before moving on to the details, make sure you're happy with the placement of all of your large shapes. Now is the time to erase and make any changes necessary. If you're not happy with the lay-in, it's better to start the drawing over rather than jump into the details too quickly. With a good lay-in established, it gives me a good roadmap to start putting in the details. Now I'm going to start looking carefully at every line. I'm going to work slow and carefully observe each bump and curve and each angle. Compare the lines you're drawing to the lines around them to make sure that they're placed correctly. I'm going to speed this part up for the sake of the video. It should probably take you at least a half an hour to complete the drawing. If you've done it in less, then you're probably going way too fast. After completing the drawing, try a few more on your own. Thanks for watching.